Come on, fellow beetles. Let's make our way to our yellow submarine. What? Our yellow submarine isn't here. Where could it have gone?
This yellow submarine is way better than that blue thingamajig I had before. Suckers. Hello everyone, and welcome to a Retired Review. Today we're taking a look at set number 8925, Barraki Deepsea Patrol. The set was released in 2007, contains approximately 228 pieces, and during time of release was approximately $30. Alright, so this is going to be our first 2007 playset from the Bionicle theme, obviously from 2007. Before we begin, I would just like to say that everything in this review is my personal opinion. Because these sets weren't widely talked about in the community during their release, I don't have a whole lot of community opinions to go over, so I'm just going to tell you what I think about the set, my experience with it, and so on. So if you do disagree, fair enough, let me know why in the comments below. I'm always interested in hearing other perspectives and other viewpoints. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. First of all, let's take a look at the minifigures, as they've changed slightly from 2006. As we see here, we have 4 minifigures, 3 Barraki and 1 Huki. We have Kalma, Takadox, Huki, and Mantax. Now, the difference here between 2006 and 2007 are the arms, specifically where it connects to the torso. As we can see, it is now fully closed, and during the 2007 overview, I will show a comparison. I'm not going to do that right now. However, I will do that later. So it's fully closed, meaning it's a complete seal, and it looks a little bulkier. I don't necessarily dislike it. I don't really like it either. It's not as useful as the ones that are open, because you can use those as fingers. This one, you can still use these as fingers, however, they're a little harder to implement, because you can't just snap them on. You obviously have to slide them on to a variety of different things. But overall, the minifigures are fine. They have the colors mostly correct. It's not that big of a deal. Obviously, we have unique head molds for every single one, which I'm super happy about. We're continuing that trend from 2006. Let's look at some of the smaller things first, starting off with this Jellyfish. I find this to be actually kind of cool. I like seeing more aquatic life for 2007 since it all takes place under the ocean. This is certainly quite neat. It's very vibrant, and these white looking tentacles are actually glow in the dark. So I'm not going to show that right now, however, do take my word for it. They do glow in the dark. It is rather neat. So I do like the Jellyfish. Over here we have this escape pod or submarine of sorts. It does spin. Well, okay, it kind of spins. It spins a little bit. And oopsie daisy. And of course it does stand up like so. Now what you're supposed to do with this, according to the box art, is you're supposed to pop it open, take Hukimari, drop him on in there, and then seal the hatch. Now when you go to close it, you got to be careful because these will pop back out. So you got to put them back into place. There you go. You have what amounts to a Toamari Kinder Egg. And of course, just to get them back out. Oh wow! I got Toahuki! It's simple. There's nothing too extraordinary about it. I don't dislike it. I don't particularly have any kind of strong attachment to it either. It's kind of sort of filler, but it's not a big deal. Over here, we have what seems to be some sort of a Squid Launcher turret. Now, the build on this isn't that great. It's a little constrained because there's no articulation in the legs basically at all. So there's not a whole lot you can really do with it. And in addition to that, this platform, it whoopsie daisy, it kind of just slides around. So I'm not big on that basically whatsoever. I don't like the fact that it's not stationary. Finally, you do have the Squid Launcher, which of course is awful. What you're supposed to do, you put a squid in, pull it back, and it's supposed to work just like how it did right there. That's the best it works. Unfortunately, that is not all the time. It usually doesn't work that way, which is massively unfortunate. You do get 3 squid in the set. And finally, the meat and potatoes of the set, the honestly, I forget the name of this. This set is technically, as far as a story perspective is concerned, it's technically semi-canon. So none of these things actually really show up outside of the squid and the characters themselves. So this situation doesn't really happen. However, there are a lot of things that say, no, this totally happened. So this, I'll put the name of this creature up on screen right now. Eljay, reminder, put name up on screen right now, darn it. I have a bad tendency of forgetting to do that. However, it's obviously some sort of a creature or a mechanical device that is carrying a bunch of different Barraki inside. So this actually is the primary bulk of the set. It's got a few different features to it. So on the side we have these Takanuva blades, and they go up and down. They're really supposed to be fillers for this gap here, at least so far as I can tell. Nothing too extraordinary. Obviously enough, all of the 6 legs do move. However, if you want to place it down, thankfully there are these stoppers, which allow the creature to stand without sagging all the way to the ground. I think that's really good. I like that they have added that. Over on the front, we actually have some cool recolors. We have these Visorak pincers in white, and we also have these Kalma tentacles in black. These will show up in a variety of other places in the future, so now, retrospectively, they are not that interesting or unique. However, at the time, they were new. So these do move up and down. Nothing too out of this world. It's perfectly serviceable. And in the front here, first of all, we can see these 2 eyes. It does have eyes, and what seems to be sort of a mouth. Now, all of these are the old style of robot arm, and they all open up to reveal the Zamor. And it can hold on to this Zamor, no issues. Now, you do get 4 of them because there are 3 more in the back. This one is just being held by this mouth claw thing. Speaking of which, over on the back, this is, like I said, carrying Zamor, and it's supposed to open up. However, ever since I built it, it hasn't really wanted to cooperate, and I'm not... Well, okay, that's one way of doing it. Basically, just break the set apart. Get a little bit of a look at the internals here, but I'm just going to go ahead and cut so I can get this darn thing open. Alright, so I got it open. That was much harder than it needed to be. I'm not sure why. However, as you can see, you do have the Zamor spheres. Now, in the story for 2007, they're not actually Zamor spheres. They are air bubbles that are solidified air bubbles that are supposed to shoot out and attack anyone that breathes water and not air. So obviously enough, that's really well contained. Really well contained. They don't really want you after it. And you can just kind of put that, seat it right back down on the creature. Thankfully, during that kerfuffle, we got this open. This is the cockpit. Nothing all that revolutionary. It can hold 2 Barraki or 2 whoever you want in there. And it's got these control sticks. It's not that detailed. Thankfully, there are no stickers in this set. I don't like stickers. So it's reasonably normal. It's quite serviceable. And that covers generally everything. In addition to all of what you see here, you do get the standard 12 weapons that you got with all the 2006 playsets. They're unchanged, they're exactly the same, and they all come with the set, and only one of them is actually used if you go by the instructions or the logo, or rather the box art. Of course, I'm doing that here. You don't have to do that. You can give them whichever weapon you want if you own the set. So, to wrap things up, my final thoughts on this set. This was the first of the 2007 sets that I got when I started acquiring these for these reviews. I did not get them at release, so I've had very little experience with them generally. However, this is the first one I got a hold of, and so it's the one I've had the most time with. And every time I looked at it, every time I glanced over at where it was, when I built it on Kevin Hinkle's backlog building streams, I thought, yeah, I kind of like this set. And every time I look back at it again and again and again, I liked it more and more and more. There aren't a whole lot of varying things to do, but it's a good, decent package. It's got a lot of fun things. The main set is obviously quite enjoyable. It's a fun build. It looks rather unique. It functions perfectly fine. Obviously enough, the back container for the air spheres is a pain to open, and I don't know why. However, a lot of the building of this set is quite ingenious. I really like what they did with the legs here. I, of course, think the front looks really cool. It all works out very well. I like the jellyfish, and I think that the pod itself is fine, though I don't have a great attachment to it. If there's anything I would remove or alter, I would take out this turret here, or I would just completely rebuild it. I don't think it's a very good turret. It wobbles around, it's got a squid launcher, and isn't a whole lot you can do to play with. With the pod, maybe I would have scrapped both of them and just made another creature that maybe Huki can ride. However, at the end of the day, it's not a grievous offense. So I do like this set. I think it's fun. I think it looks really cool. The color scheme isn't that striking, but it doesn't really need to be in this instance. At the end of the day, I won't not recommend it. I recommend it's worth your consideration, at the very least. So if you want to get it, definitely go and look for it. It's certainly one of the best entry-level 07 sets. At least, it's one of the best entry-level Bionicle Playsets, I say. I think it's a good balance between system and construction, and it does a good job of just being enjoyable. So I think that I would recommend considering it, though I wouldn't necessarily push you to buy it, and I don't think it's worth immediately crossing off your list. And that about does it. What do you think about this set? Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and no matter what you think, whether or not you agree with me or disagree, let me know in the comments below. I read all the comments, and I thoroughly enjoy all of them. So thank you so very, very much. Join me next time when I look over the next system playset, the Toa Undersea Attack. Once again, thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you then. Have a great day.